Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Zim's Beer Review. I'm your host, Garrett Zimmer. Thanks for tuning in. Got an odd beer today. I saw this beer in the liquor store. I went and bought a 6-pack of random beers, and this one caught my eye for one reason specifically, the name. I guess I should say the style. It's a porter, but it's a sweet potato porter. Totally new to me. Never seen it, never heard of it. This might be the only place that makes a sweet potato porter. We're talking about Roadhouse Brewing. Roadhouse Brewing is out of Jackson, Wyoming. They're kind of just like south of Yellowstone, for kind of give your geography in there. This is called the Outcasty Sweet Potato Porter. It's got a sloth on it. Don't know the backstory behind that. Pretty cool can, actually. I would say all of the Roadhouse Brewing Company's cans are all kind of the same style. I would say with this really, I wouldn't say retro, but simplified, simplistic, but really catchy art. The label itself, I dropped it. It rolled out of my truck and it kind of got a little dent in it, but yeah, really interesting. They got a lot of funny little facts on here. They kind of explain some miscellaneous stuff about the beer. They have a whole little poem on here. I'm not going to go through and read it, but it's kind of an interesting labeling style, we'll say. I'm interested to try this beer, though. A sweet potato porter. I think it's probably more in the fall region of beers, more so than the summer region of beers. So uploading this in mid-May is probably not the best move, but I saw it at the store, so I wanted to try it. And so that's kind of how we do it around here. If I want to try something that looks interesting, we're trying it. So Outcasty, Outcast with a Y on the end, Outcasty Sweet Potato Porter. We're gonna try this. A little bit of information about, here we go. Get a nice crack there. So, ooh, that's dark. That is like, I mean, porters are dark, but let's see if we can get a little head on this. That is a dark beer. I mean, deep brown color. When I hold it up to the light, I get a little bit of like a deep red, deep brown tinge to it. It smells like a little bit of coffee. In this, I'd say slightly coffee porter smell to it. I don't know. Sweet potato, I don't smell it. Not bad. I'd say as far as porters are not my favorite beer style, but I enjoy them on occasion. This one I would say is more subdued on the porter side of things. I think it doesn't taste as spicy or as, I guess spicy is the word. Not as many, like the deep flavor profile that you kind of get with some porters. Little subtle. Definitely hints of coffee. Very coffee, chocolate caramel, something along those lines. It's, man, I don't know. Sweet potato, I don't know. I know that they brewed this with a ton of sweet potatoes. I think when I say a ton, I'm pretty sure it was literally 1 ton of sweet potatoes, which is kind of crazy. Per batch is what it said on their website. But I don't taste a whole lot of sweet potato in this. It's kind of an odd flavor to try and nail down anyways. So I don't know if I would be able to pick it out. No matter how prevalent it might be, it's kind of an odd flavor. I think they're going for more of exactly what sold me on this, and that's like the intrigue of the flavor, more so than anything else. Sweet potato porter. You guys will have to let me know if there's other ones out there. I am not aware of any other sweet potato porters. Kind of odd. Maybe it's good for an evening. You're gonna have, one beer, half of a beer. This is a 16-ounce can. Yeah, plenty in here. Split it with somebody. Kind of a good, smooth, sipping, easy drinking porter. You're not going to go out and drink 4, 5, 6 of these, but you wouldn't do that with any porter. So I can't hold that against this specific Roadhouse sweet potato porter. But it's very aromatic, very chocolatey. I'm still tasting coffee. It's been, a minute and a half since I've taken a drink, and I still taste coffee on my tongue. Like my whole little area around me here is just like smells of coffee and chocolate now, which is kind of interesting it's very aromatic given how subdued I'd say the flavor is. It's kind of like a paradox. We're going to go to Roadhouse Brewing's website. Now we're jumping over. Roadhouse Brewing was actually started in 2012. Let's pull down our projector. Oh, that was a pretty good one. Roadhouse Brewing was started in Jackson, Wyoming in 2012. They had a brewer and entrepreneur collaborate with like a chef and like came together and made Roadhouse Brewing, which is pretty cool. So obviously they have an eatery and a pub, and as well as just the brewery that you can visit. These are in Jackson, Wyoming. A lot of cool imagery here. I'm kind of right in the way. I'll lean over here maybe so you can kind of see more of the video. But really cool looking website. Very, I wouldn't say user friendly, but it's a beer website. Very visually striking. Lots of cool stuff here. We can go to their story. Here you go. Colby Cox and Gavin Fine. So the home brewer and entrepreneur, as I noted, with the chef and restaurateur sometime in 2012. So what they kind of pride themselves on at Roadhouse Brewing is the collaboration of beer and food. So each beer has right on the label a food pairing to go with it. So I will read this portion of this can to give you guys an idea of what I mean. It says style, sweet potato porter, pairs with wild pheasants and singing falsetto. So that's high, right? I'm not sure. And then it says notes, may lead to spending nights in bars and glasses tinkling. Not tinking or clinking, tinkling. But yeah, so all their beers have like a little food pairing on them, a little bit of a, funny humor on the cans. So like they said, with the brewer and the restaurateur, they kind of complement the food and the beer together. And so, yeah, pretty interesting. One other thing that I wanted to bring up before this episode comes to a close is their sustainability efforts. I always like to highlight that when there's a brewery that really cares about sustainability and green brewing techniques. And Roadhouse Brewing is no different than some of the other ones we've done. So Roadhouse Brewing, it says right here on their website, they take sustainability very seriously. They built it to minimize their carbon footprint. They share kegs. They recapture and recycle the heat that they produce. And they're installing solar panels to offset their power usage and also to send it back to the town of Jackson, which is pretty dang cool. All their spent grain, I think I've mentioned this on previous episodes, that you can use your spent grain from the brewing process and make all types of things. I know some brewers, even home brewers, will take the spent grain and make like dog biscuits, or I've heard of people making pancakes with it and eating it themselves. It's just grain. It's nothing wrong with it. It's a little bit bitter since all the sugars have been extracted, but they actually take their grain and send it to a local family that produces grass-fed beef. So pretty cool. And they're always looking for new ways to enhance and continue and expand on their sustainability efforts. So they have a email address at the bottom here that you can send them an email if you have an idea. How can they make their sustainability even more sustainable? So that's pretty cool. So I encourage you guys to check out some Roadhouse Brewing Company beers out of Jackson, Wyoming. This sweet potato porter, I think, is probably more suited for the fall than the middle or going into summer. But that's no fault of them. That's me buying a sweet potato porter in May. But again, I'm like, see, on this drink, I got a lot of caramel. That like jumped out at me as like I'm eating candy. This beer is changing. Anyways, I encourage you guys to like and subscribe to the channel, please. It helps us out a ton. As you can see right here, click down below and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back soon with another episode. I think we're going to do a collaboration with Shaverwood again. I think you guys enjoyed those. So we're going to try to get us both in the bar and do a couple more beer reviews. So as always, thank you guys for tuning in, and I appreciate everything you guys do.